comes to running a business, building a business. It's hard. Okay, it's really, really hard. Anybody that tells you that building a business from scratch, running a business, growing a business is easy, simple, straightforward, is lying through their teeth. Run for the hills. Don't listen to that person, because this is hard work. It's hard work. And what makes it hard is there's no roadmap. There's no, tried and tested set of steps. There are strategies, but in the end, you've got to find the roadmap that's going to work for you and your business. And that can be a lonely place. That can be very challenging, because you can't just rip off what somebody else is doing. If that's what you're doing, then you're not going to build a very strong business. You got to find your own path, and that's very challenging. And it can be very easy to lose motivation, to lose steam, to lose energy, to peter out when things get difficult, because they will get difficult. And it can be very easy to simply give up when you face obstacles that seem insurmountable in your business. That can be very easy. But the winners, the folks who successfully build businesses and overcome those obstacles, they're not necessarily the smartest people. They're not necessarily the people with the best strategies or the best talent or the most expertise. They're the people who find the motivation and the drive and the energy to push through obstacles every single time. So when something else lands in front of them that seems to be blocking them from hitting their goals, they find a way to push through. And then the next week, the same thing. And the next month, the same thing. Whatever gets thrown at them, they get resourceful, they get industrious, and they find ways to move around those obstacles and push through them. And there's two motivation wells that I found that, if you know where to find these motivation wells, you know where to look for them, you know how to tap into them, they never run dry. There's certain types of motivations that run dry. They might fuel you for a bit, but then eventually they run dry. But there's two motivation wells that will never run dry on you if you know how to find them. And both have to do with other people. Both have to do with other people and benefiting other people. Because you're only going to be so motivated to serve yourself. It's certainly important to have some goals for yourself and what you're going to get out of this exercise of running and building a business. But that's only going to take you so far, because if you're even remotely successful, if you've had any success in business, you're probably pretty comfortable. Your needs are probably met. You probably don't need yourself a whole lot more. But when you factor in how you can help other people and the impact you can have on their lives, that's going to be a more powerful driving force for you. And there's two specific wells I want you to think about, two motivation wells. The first is the people in your life. Could be a spouse, could be parents, could be siblings, could be kids, could be friends, could be causes and charities that you want to support with your wealth, with the money that you earn through your business, right? Think about the opportunity that you have to enrich their lives. So if you're somebody like me, for example, 3 young children, obviously that's a big driving force. I make enough money to keep myself comfortable, have for a long time. That's not a motivator for me. Making more money doesn't make me more comfortable. It doesn't. It does very little for me, actually. But the motivation of enriching my children and my family, giving them a better life, giving them experiences that I want them to have, demonstrating to them the value of hard work and the value of leadership, that's way more motivating to me than getting a nicer car, although I would love a nicer car. But that's only going to make me work so hard. Whereas enriching my children and creating a better life for them, that's much more motivating. You've got to find what that is for you. Maybe it's kids. Maybe it's a spouse. I know a lot of folks, they've got spouses, husband or wife that are in dead-end jobs, and they want to be able to create the kind of income to allow that spouse to leave their job, right? Or maybe, you want your wife to be able to spend more time with the kids. You want your husband to be able to retire early. Whatever it is, find that person, those people in your life. Maybe you got parents who are elderly. You want to be able to care for them, pay for their care, bring them into your home, right? Have somebody take care of them. Maybe you've got a charity that you really care about, a cause you care about. You want to be able to spend a lot of money to support that cause. You got to find what it is for you. But I guarantee you, once you find that motivation, once you find those people outside of you that you want to enrich, that you want to support, that you want to benefit, that's going to be a much more powerful driving motivation and force than lining your own pockets. That's the first one. The second motivation well has also to do with helping people, but it's your clients, it's your prospects. I want you to think about how you feel when you get clients' results. How does that make you feel? Client comes to you and actually just, well, yesterday had a former client, not even a client anymore, who's been through my program, text me and said, I'm going to text you every time I get a client from the work that we did. And I just got another one. Ring the bell. How do you think I felt? Fantastic. Because the work that I did with this client is having a direct impact on this client's life. It's enriching their life and their business. I felt fantastic. Think about how you feel when you get clients' results. Probably feel pretty good, right? And not because of the money that changed hands, that's the least of it, but because you can see how the fruits of your labor, how your expertise have had a tangible impact on that person's life and on their business. Okay, that's a motivation well that never runs dry. That's always going to be there for you to the extent that you know how to tap into that. So for example, here's a really useful exercise I have my clients go through is every single morning, take a look at some client results. Watch the testimonial videos, look at the emails they send you, take screenshots, or even just take notes on a document and capture the results you've gotten for clients and look at that every morning. Reflect on that, think about that. Make that connection between the work that you do and the impact that you're having on clients' lives and the benefits they're experiencing, the change and the transformation they are experiencing. Because if that's significant, you want to bring that to the forefront and remind yourself of that every single day. If you do that, it's going to be really hard to not show up and not be motivated. So hope that helps. 2 motivation wells that will never run dry. Think about the people in your life that you want to enrich and support. Could be family, could be friends, could be a charity, could be a cause. Let that drive you forward. And the second is think about the impact you're having on clients and prospects. I talk to prospects all the time who don't work with me, but are better off after we have the conversation. Think about the impact you're having on them. And when you reflect on those 2 motivation wells, you know how to tap into those, you should never run out of energy. Hope that makes sense. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. Happy to help. Hope you all have a great day. Cheers.